Hello juniors, and welcome to this week's episode of your Senior Project Advisory videos. Please begin by opening your Chromebook and opening to your junior proposal. Today we will start the revising process. We want to start by telling you how very proud we are of the class of 2019. You have the highest submission rate in the history of Senior Project, with over 95% of the junior class submitting a complete first draft on the deadline. We are so proud of you. Not only that, your submissions are very high quality. We are seeing some very strong first drafts. The good news is that will make the job of getting approved much easier. Today's agenda includes going over how to revise your proposal, how to let your grader know that you have revised, what to do after you've revised, and what to do if you need help. Lastly, we're going to remind you what to do to get approved when you bring in your signed signature forms. So please open your proposal now and follow along in the video that I'm going to show you with a model how you're going to revise your proposal. Once you open your proposal, it should look like this. You have your heading, you make sure it's your correct proposal. You'll see things that are highlighted, and over on the right you will see comments that your grader has posted. You will see who your grader is because you will see their name. You will also see hopefully a little message here from your grader letting you know who the grader is, how to contact him or her if you need any help, and also their availability. For example, you can see that I'm available in room 140A during first period, fourth, lunch, or Tuesday tutorial. Remember to only come during a TA period, free period, or study support period. You should never miss a class to come discuss your senior project. Please make use of lunch, tutorial, after school, and any other times when you are free. Once you see who your grader is, you will then start looking at the rest of the comments. As you see portions of the proposal that are highlighted, this lets you know that there's something that needs to be fixed or addressed. So here we see baking 7 different for 3 events. There's a bit of a typo here. This needs to say baking 7 different baked goods for 3 events. So now that I have made that change, I can resolve this comment because it has been fixed. Once I continue down on my proposal, I can see the rest of the comments. For example, here the word pastries is highlighted. I look to my right. Be sure to list the exact items you are baking. So for a baking project, just simply saying pastries will be created and decorated is not specific enough. So if you look over here, the grader has linked the guidelines. It says, see the chart on the sheet of guidelines for ideas. So you can open the guidelines in a separate window, and you can scroll down to see, oh, here's the chart of options. And if I look down here at the baked goods, I can see that I must make 7 different baked goods from scratch. I choose 1 simple item, 3 moderately difficult items, and 3 challenging items from this chart. If there is something that I want to make that is not included in this chart, then I can just email my grader and ask if this is an appropriate item. So if your grader has linked the guidelines in, you should be able to click on them and refer back to exactly what's required for your proposal. Here we see another thing. My consultant is a family friend. The comment says, please give the consultant's full name. So here I would go through and I would say my consultant, Karen Smith, is a family friend that bakes cakes as a hobby. Only now that I have fixed it will I hit resolve. So one problem we've had in the past is students going through and hitting resolve when they have not actually fixed what needed to be fixed. If you're confused about this, don't hit resolve. That's when you email your grader or meet up with them during a tutorial or a lunch, whenever they are available, and ask for help about this. So the hardest thing is if you're hitting resolve for everything and you're not actually fixing it, that's going to set you back because your grader is going to open it, look back at the comments in the history, and he or she is just going to reopen all the same comments. So you're going to get the same exact feedback and comments the next time you revise. So do not hit resolve until you have fixed that problem. As I scroll down, I look at my learning steps. Okay, looks like they're pretty good. Over here I see, I will need to learn how to make a chef's journal. Over here the comment states this is not a learning step. So what does this mean? This means that yes, making a chef's journal is required for this project, but making a journal is just compiling documentation evidence. It's not really a learning step, the way that kitchen safety, measurements, baking, filling, and frosting are actually learning anchored in the category of baking. So here we want to delete this. Now that I have deleted that, it's good to go. As I continue down, I look at the notes in my project steps. Here I see, please list that you will take 1 to 2 pages of notes at each lesson. So I go over here and I will simply include, take 1 to 2 pages of notes for each lesson. This is all part of my chef's journal. Every project will have learning notes that will be compiled for the Section D My Evidence for documentation or proof of learning. Now that I have fixed this, I hit Resolve. I continue down, continuing to fix things one by one. Oh, I need to list exactly what I will be making for each event. So once again, I can't just write pastries. I would need to write, for example, cherry Danish for event number 1. Remember that for all projects, if something comes up in the future, we can make some switch out some items, make some small changes. That is not a problem. You will need to meet with me or Mrs. Meredith to make those changes, but we can continue to make changes throughout the rest of junior year and the beginning of senior year. So don't worry about committing, in this case, to a recipe. If your client wants you to change it later, we can make those adjustments. We can't go deleting steps and just deciding we don't want to do half the project, but we can substitute things like that out. As we continue down, you see that something here is missing from documentation. Please include that you will bring 1 baked good, moderate or challenging, not an easy item, to senior defense for 7 judges to have a small sample. So I would add to my documentation evidence, I will bring 1 baked item for my senior defense judges to taste. Now that I have fixed that, I can hit Resolve. So this process of going through, looking at comments and fixing them, hitting Resolve when they are fully fixed, is how you revise the proposal. Once you have looked over the entire proposal and everything is fixed, then you must email your grader. This is where students would come to me and Miss Meredith very confused. They would make all of their changes, they would hit Resolve several times, and they would never hear from their grader. When you are ready, we need you to open your Helix email, hit Compose, and make an email for your grader. The reason we need you to email the grader is every single grader has several between 8 and 50 proposals. Every time a student hits Resolve, they receive an automatic notification from Google, but there are far too many to stay on top of in an organized fashion. So when you are ready, you will then go to your email, you will hit Compose, and you will find their email address. So let me show you. Over here in my email, I hit Compose. I start typing in my grader's email address, and it pops up. In the subject, you could write your name, Alice C. Proposal. Here, you would write, "Hi, my proposal is ready to be regraded. Thank you." Once you hit send, then your grader gets an email letting them know that your proposal is now edited and ready for a second revision. This email is critical to getting approved in a timely fashion. Now, on the flip side, how will you know once your grader has revised? Unlike proposal graders, all students have exactly 1 proposal they are working on. So when your grader makes comments, you will receive an automatic notification from Google letting you know what specific comments have been made. When you get those emails letting you know what the comments are, that is your indication to open your proposal and start revising again. You open your proposal, you look at any new comments, and you make all of the required changes. Once again, if you have any trouble, please be sure to see your grader. Mrs. Meredith and I are here if anything major comes up. For example, you need to totally change your project, or you're not hearing back from your grader when you email him or her. That's when Mrs. Meredith and I will step in. But your first point of contact is your proposal grader. Finally, you will go through this process back and forth of revising online. To get approved quickly, be sure to revise as soon as you get those Google notifications that your grader has made comments. Email the grader, give them a few days to grade it, and get back to you. Once you have gotten the typed portion ready to go, that is when your grader will email you and say, I am ready for you to bring me your signature forms. So in this instance, this person will be bringing 5 signed forms, a consultant form, a parent-guardian agreement, and 3 client forms, one for each event. Once you submit the forms to the grader, you are approved and you are ready to start your project. Your project is printed. Your proposal will be printed when you are approved and kept on file. Do not make any changes to the Google Doc. The printed proposal is what we will be using at Senior Defense, and when we pull up your proposal online, the revision history will show if any changes have been made, as well as the printed version. If you need to make any changes, that's when you will see me or Mrs. Meredith, and we will make those changes together, and we will reprint the proposal and put it on file. We are really proud of you. We hope you take this next few minutes of advisory to do all of your adjustments and revisions. As a reminder, College for Me students, you must be approved by March 2nd. We know that March feels a world away right now, but with winter vacation, it's going to come quickly. Then we get back in January. January will be go time, particularly for College for Me students. To get approved by March 2nd, that means you're almost approved by the middle of February. You maybe have 1 or 2 little things to do before bringing your forms. Remember that graders do not grade every day. They grade once a week. If you wait till the last minute, they will not be able to rush your proposal through. Please take initiative here and be proactive. All other juniors will be approved no later than April 17th to avoid any consequences or summer school. Thank you so much for your attention. Please finish revising your proposal and email your grader when it is ready to be graded. Have a great day.